Hi everyone. Maybe the third time's the charm. Okie dokie and I are here tonight to try to give you a tour of our little cartridge potty inside my van at night using the tripod. So wish me luck. So far it's been quite the challenge. My first video, I haven't not worked out the sound yet, so my first video, Okie here gave us quite the serenade of chewing his bone right into the speaker, so I had to do that one again for that reason. So we'll see how it goes. I took away the bone. All right, so here we are in my 2013 Ford Transit Connect. I bought it about 7 years ago, and from the very beginning I had two things that I needed. I needed a bed that stayed in place, ready to go when I was, and I needed a potty. Being an older female, I think a lot of the ladies can understand that I needed to be able to get up immediately and use it many times during the night without delay and without fussing and assembly. So this is the one that I chose, and 7 years ago I think I may have paid around $75, but I checked it on Walmart. They have the same little potty for $85 or $88 now. So not a lot of change in that. This was a small cartridge potty that has two sections, a holding tank for the water to use to flush at the top, and then the lower tank here is a 3-gallon waste tank for the urine to go into. Now, I do not put anything in the waste tank but urine, no paper, nothing else. And I do not fill up the 4-gallon water reserve tank because it makes the potty very heavy to lift. What I use instead is a small spray bottle that I can just spritz around the edge of the rim, and it seems to do a good job. And plus, I didn't want to put 4 gallons of fresh water, flush it down here, and then have to take urine and a lot of fresh water to go empty, because emptying this is a little bit of a challenge because I don't want to be so obvious about it, and carrying in 2 to 3 gallons of water in a beach bag is a little more discreet than carrying in a bigger tank, like there are some of these that have like 5-gallon holding tanks down here. And you know, if it goes over 3 gallons, I would be carrying it in like this. And I think it'd be pretty obvious that I had something in that beach bag that weighed a lot, or I wouldn't be carrying it so awkwardly. So by getting the smaller tank and the smaller potty, I felt like that was better for me. What I did not think about was my knees. This sat very low on the floor last year, and I actually pulled something back behind my kneecap here and had about 3 months of excruciating knee pain. So I went in courtside. I was looking for a solution because I couldn't stay trapped on the potty every time I went to the bathroom. And I purchased this RV step that is adjustable, so I could regulate the height as I needed. So I came back here and played around with the height that was good for my knees, and this is what I ended up with. And I do like the fact that the step, along with being very stable, and I can take it out and of course use it as even like a little end table, because it goes up pretty tall, is that it allows me to store things underneath my potty. So under the potty I keep my dog's little potty pads, which I also use in here if I have to have a solid waste bathroom issue. So I will show you in just a moment how I line the potty area with a plastic bag and then put one of these in, and then when you're done, it's very easy to fold everything together and put it away and throw it away just like you would a baby's diaper. Now, in order to get into the store, not the store, I don't know why I keep saying the store, the rest areas, the gas stations, the gyms, with my cartridge when it needs to be emptied, is I have this fold-up beach bag, and I put the cartridge, the lower cartridge, you pull a lever back behind, and these separate. This top tank, 4-gallon tank, separates from the 3-gallon tank. and I put the cartridge in here. Now, when you put it in a bag like this that you can see through, the only problem is if somebody was to really look closely, they'd see the plastic cartridge and they'd see the nozzle and everything with a screw lid that you use to unscrew and then twist it around and use it as a funnel to pour it out with. So I don't want that to be showing. So what I've done is I put over the cartridge, once I have it in the beach bag, my bath wrap, and I will show you where that stores, and that way I get multiple uses out of that bath wrap. Of course, it's good for putting on when you get out of the shower and you're walking around the gym and you don't want to be holding on to a towel. Then I also can use it here to cover up the cartridge when I'm going into a store. And then its last use is right here, because it goes on the top here and slides in, and that's the padding so that my stool is kind of comfortable. At times I have to move Oki off of it at night so that I can use the potty. Now, this bedspread and all my fabric in here came from a thrift shop. Oh, my camera's moving. See if we can get it back into position. We're having camera challenges tonight. Okay, I think it's back. This came from a thrift shop, and it was probably a teenage girl's bedding. I don't care. I liked it. It was bright and fun. And I bought the dust ruffle and the shower curtains and, of course, the bedspread. So once I cut it up, I made valises up here out of the shower curtain, and then this shower curtain pulls across here and closes off the back if I need to shower outside and don't want things inside to get wet. And then I took the dust ruffle and I cut out a decorative square of fabric here and sewed the dust ruffle on. And then inside I took, it's actually an old cover from one of my seat covers, and it was stretchy black fabric, and I made like a pocket, almost like a pillowcase. And on one side it stretches over the lid, and then on one side I can slide the bath wrap in here for cushioning when it's not being used to wrap up the potty cartridge or to wrap up me. The other side, I have a plastic bag that's all ready to go, so that if that emergency hits, you can immediately take your plastic bag, lift up your lid, put your bag in. It's already got one of the Assure bed pads in here, fold it out, put the rim down, flatten everything out, take care of what you need to. Then when you're done, I fold the corners of the Assure pad over and then wad everything together, and then of course throw it away, just like you would a baby's diaper. So if you've ever dealt with a baby's diaper, it's about the same. I don't know why we dread the idea, or I dreaded the idea of having to have a solid bowel movement here in the van, and why I really had never used it till recently. Now this past month I have been taught some very important lessons with this cartridge toilet, and as embarrassing as it may be, I'm going to pass them along to you, because I'm going to bet that you're going to need to do some of these things, or might not have thought of some of these things yourself. So along with the bag issue, I will tell you that if I had been prepared with the bag here, I recently had stomach distress day, and like normal, I tried to go to a gas station or a McDonald's or somewhere where I could use their toilet for that special time. But with stomach distress issues hitting strong, I started out in a town that I'm here in Tucson, didn't really know very well, and was not encountering any gas stations on the side of the road in the traffic that I was involved in. So then I considered pulling off and just jumping back here and putting my plastic bag in, finding my plastic bag, finding the paper, Assure pads, get them put in, put up my window coverings and take care of it here. But I couldn't even find a place to pull off in the traffic that I was in. Needless to say, very bad decision to push it. When I first felt the distress, I should have just pulled off and had my bag and everything ready and just popped it in here and taken care of it. But whatever is in our human nature not to want to deal with that in our vans, or I didn't want to deal with it in my van, I tried pushing it. The result was bad, really bad. You do not want to do that. So be prepared. Don't be afraid to go ahead and deal with your potty with the plastic bag. It is easy. If you've ever changed a baby's diaper, once you've done it once, I think you'll get over some of the fear or anxiety about having to do that, and it becomes very easy, and the alternative becomes less desirable, especially if you've had a bad experience like I did. That rainy day, we ended up spending time at our local car wash and laundromat and gym shower. So it was not a fun day. Do not do what I did. Okay? Now, that was probably the worst part. But prior to that, I had 2 other days that taught me some important lessons. The next one was during rainy day, when you know your potty, the 3-gallon pot down here, the waste part, is almost full, pay attention. Don't push it. If it says it will hold 3 gallons of waste, believe it. It will hold 3 gallons of waste. It will not hold 3.5 gallons. 3. Just 3. Don't push it even that high. But I did, out of stupidity and laziness and the fact that it was pouring down rain, and I just was thinking I had a little more time. So that morning I woke up, and I always keep a potty pad, one of these pads down here on the floor in case Okie has an emergency need during the night. And I woke up and I thought, wow, this little 11-pound dog really had to go. And he's gone and gone and gone. And so as I got more awake, I realized that was not possible. So at that point, it became obvious that my 3-gallon potty tank had reached maximum capacity, and when I pulled the little lever to flush it, it appeared to be going away, so I thought everything was good. But what I didn't realize is when it's full, it does go away, but it goes away out from between the cartridge and onto the floor. So we spent a whole day at a local car wash taking everything out of the van, including the potty, which I will tell you, we did learn a nice fact that if you really feel like you need to do a major potty cleanup, go to your local car wash. Put some quarters in, set it on soapy, spray it down with a high-powered spray, all the parts, take it completely apart, and then spray it, rinse it down, and it does a great job cleaning the potty. But don't do it because you let the lower tank get too full. But that was a great place to go, especially since it was still pouring down rain that day. It gave me a dry place to be undercover and be able to pull out everything on a rainy day and deal with it. The next lesson that I've learned about the cartridge toilets, and I learned this the following day after spending the whole day at the car wash and chastising myself, I came back and put the cartridge together. I thought there's a little lever that you pull to take it apart, and if you line up everything and drop it down, it kind of clicks, and I thought I had clicked it together. But the next morning, again, I noticed there was leakage. Now, I've never had a problem with it leaking as long as it was not overly full. And I knew it was not overly full that day because it was empty from the day of cleaning before. So I was having trouble figuring out what was going on, and then I kind of pressed against the potty and realized it had not latched together. So second day at the car wash, and second important lesson learned was to make sure that when you set these two pieces together again, that they latch and they're closed, because if you don't, you're going to have leakage coming out. So, but none of those were the results. None of those issues were the results of the potty itself. They were user error, as they like to say, and user stupidity, maybe. So, those are my potty 101 things. The 3 big lessons. Don't fear having to use the bag and throw away your waste. Don't overfill your storage container. And make sure when you put them back together that they're really back together. Okay. So I think I've covered all those things. Some of you may be wondering what this is back here to the side of me. This is one of my new purchases, and I am very much enjoying it. This is a fold-out stadium chair that's heated. It's got a heated back and a heated seat, and it folds completely flat. It's about, I'd say maybe 2 inches thick when it's flattened down. And a lot of times when I'm just stopping overnight, I don't want to pull out my beach chairs and things, you know, camping chairs from my cargo rack and back or on top. So if I want to sit and relax, a lot of times I just take this and set it in the doorway area and put my little footstool up, and this can be angled at different levels, so it kind of is like a little bit of a recliner. It's a very comfortable thing. I got this from Amazon, and I am enjoying it. It came with its own battery heater, so you can charge up the battery and run it on high for a couple hours. I also have a secondary use that I've been using it for. My window that's over here to the side, I do have reflectix on it, but when it's really, really, really cold, I found that if I fold this flat and stand it against the window on top of the reflectix, and if it's extremely cold, I can even put the heat on the 2 pads, and it kind of radiates out a little heat for me. So this is a purchase from Amazon that I am very much enjoying lately. Okay, this is the 3rd video, and I think this one, most of the time you could see me, and you could see the potty, and you could hear, because Oki, I took his bone away, and he has not been chewing, making noises. He's been a very good little boy. So I appreciate you coming by, and I hope you learned something. I hope that this is helpful to someone out there. I sure wish somebody had reminded me those 3 things, but you know, even if you've been in your van a long time, there's so many lessons that we learn every day, every trip that we go out. So thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of this. Please be patient with me. I'm still trying to learn to edit and everything. And this is all new to me, using the equipment and everything. So, stop back by if you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed and you want to find out more about what me and Okie Dokie are doing out on the road. And happy trails to everyone. See you next time. Bye now.